It was last fall. Diana and I put to the test in our own Spartan race obstacle course modeled after that tough military-style endurance race that is pretty much held all over the country these days.
Now, I don't need to remind anybody out there, but I'm going to do it anyway. John lost that race. But we were definitely both inspired by our guest that day, Spartan Race founder John Sena. And like me, Joe grew up in Queens, New York. He worked hard, made it all the way to Wall Street before founding Spartan Race. He's also an accomplished athlete. He's known to run several 100-mile races in a single week. Wow. I recently sat down with Joe to talk about his new book called Spartan Up, a take-no-prisoners guide to overcoming obstacles and achieving peak performance in life. And here we are with Joe Sena. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I think it's pretty obvious that we can start here. You are an extreme athlete, right? I want to go through some of the things that you've done, and it's probably just scratching the surface here. You've run several 100-mile races in a single week. You did a 350-mile, 6-day race in Canada in the dead of winter, and you even created the Spartan Races 24-hour race called the Death Race as well. Why do you do this? What motivates you to do these things?
I just love to push myself. I think adversity is the road to success, and so it's not if things will go wrong in your life, it's when. And so I like to change my frame of reference, and what I mean by that is if you're out in Canada and it's 30 below for 8 days, well, if the car doesn't start in the morning or the kids scream or the coffee's not the perfect temperature, it's no big deal because thank God it's not 30 below and I'm outside.
So you take yourself to the worst extremes that you can think of so that anything that happens in everyday life is nothing compared to what you've been through. Yeah. So let's talk about your book a little bit, Spartan Up. You write, challenging yourself to accomplish more than you know you can is never stupid. It helps show you what you're capable of. You're also quoted as saying, I can't doesn't mean anything to you anymore, not because of your ego, because you know anything is possible. Yeah. What is it about these phrases that help you power through everything?
Well, we all have to be motivated. It's hard to stay motivated. It's the #1 thing we hear from our millions of customers is, Joe, how do you stay motivated? And to stay motivated is difficult. It's even difficult for me. And so I like to set my sight on something, whether it's that day, that week, or that year, commit to it publicly. So now you're on the hook. You tell everybody you're doing it, whether it's building a business or whatever it may be in life, and then delaying gratification. Right, we all want instant gratification. Hit the snooze button, or take that extra glass of wine, or grab a piece of cake. But if you can delay gratification and not take those things, well, the rewards multiply.
So touching upon that a little bit, let's talk about your Spartan races. A lot of people sign up for these. Yeah. They're brutalized in these races. Yeah. I mean, they are really brutal, and they keep coming back for more. Why do you think that is?
I think it's addictive to act like a human. We're all human. We forgot it. I've got this great analogy. I've got a dog. Many of us have dogs, and the dog loves to sit next to me. So if I'm in the kitchen doing emails all day or on the phone, she's just sitting there. She by the end of the day needs a psychologist, right? She's been sitting in the house all day. You take her outside and run and chase birds and run through the water, and she's happy as can be. And so I think that's what happens to us. You bring us to a Spartan race, put us in the mud, climb over walls.
Sure.
We're happy as can be. Let's not forget the brain. Everybody forgets this. The brain sits inside the body.
Right.
The better shape the body's in, the healthier the body is, the healthier the mind is.
So let's say our audience, somebody watching in the middle of the night, maybe not in the best of shape, but wants to challenge themselves to do something. Can anyone do the Spartan race?
Get off the couch. Get off the couch. I know I'm not supposed to say it.
Step number one.
Step number one. Just go do a lap around the house. Right. You just got to put one foot in front of the other.
All right. So you're saying maybe not tomorrow, but eventually anybody can do the Spartan race.
We've got 74-year-old grandmoms doing it. And the book, by the way, is for the people that are still on the couch that are unsure. Can they do it? You read the book, you're going to get motivated. You might carry your couch outside.
What is this Spartan lifestyle that you talk about? What does that? You're touching upon it now, but give it to me in a couple of sentences. Somebody watching at home that wants to make this a part of their lifestyle. What does it mean to be a Spartan?
The word's a powerful word, right?
Yes.
We think back to those warriors. They were pretty tough. And in fact, many people used to say back then, leaders, kings, queens, the Spartans, they get a relaxation day when they go to war. Their training is so hard.
Right.
And so that's what it means to us when we hear that word. And so to live that lifestyle is maybe you're drinking water instead of coffee and a sugary drink. Maybe you're not having cake after the meal, right? Yeah. Maybe you're waking up a little earlier and going for a 1-mile walk.
Right.
And that's what it means, and millions of people have bought into this. And so it's a movement. It's unbelievable
really
what's happened.
I want to talk about your book again because it touches on so many things aside from the Spartan races. How to just kind of be a better human being, eat better, be more motivated. You even talk about your parenting style, which is fascinating to me. We were just talking about your kids off camera. You've got 4 children, all very young. The eldest is 7 years old.
8 now.
8 now.
Yeah.
Let me just go through some of the things that you torture your kids with. 2 hours of Kung Fu every single day. 2 of them are fluent in Mandarin. Your 5-year-old has swam a mile. Your 4-year-old does burpees every day. And everybody gets up at 5:45 in the morning and you make them do all this stuff. They're wrestling now. A lot of people would look at this and say, boy, that's a whole lot for some young kids. Why?
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at some cultures in the world today, kids walk 5 miles to school.
Yes.
Right? So isn't it ridiculous that most kids are waking up right before the bus comes, they're stuffing in some food that's not great for them, and they're probably not getting the best education not because the teachers aren't good, but because they're still sleeping in class.
What is the overall takeaway from the book that you want people to have? Read the book and then what?
Toughen up.
Really?
Change your frame of reference. It's not so bad. Whatever you think is going on in your life that's so terrible, it's not as bad as 30 below in northern Canada.
All right, once again, Joe Sena, thank you so much for joining us. Get that book, by the way, Spartan Up, on bookshelves. I know it's a read that I need because I need to get off of the couch anyway. Once again, Joe's book is called Spartan Up, a Take No Prisoners Guide to Overcoming Obstacles and Achieving Peak Performance in Life.